Hey guys, so today we're doing the camera comparison between the Pixel 9 Pro XL, the Pixel 8 Pro, and also the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So we're going to jump straight into it. So we have a series of different photos here and we're going to compare them side by side. So let's start with this particular photo here. So this is shot on the main camera. So the main 1X camera on these phones. So can you tell which one is which? To my eye, they look practically the same. Particularly the left two, so the one on the left and the one in the middle, they look basically exactly the same. The one on the right is a little bit warmer, but that might just be because the clouds moved a little bit, so there's a bit more sun on that one. So if we reveal what photo is which, you can see that the Pixel 9 Pro took the photo on the left, the Pixel 8 took the one in the middle, and the iPhone took the one on the right. The iPhone is a bit warmer, but again, the shadows moved a little bit, so the clouds moved a bit, so that photo is a bit brighter because the sun changed. But yeah, it looks like the greens on the iPhone is more vibrant, whereas the Pixel 9 and the Pixel 8 tend to have maybe a darker kind of green, so maybe it's just a cooler picture. Like as in warmth wise, it's cooler. It's not as warm as the iPhone picture. Again, things with like colors, you can tweak that in post if you want. So I don't think that matters too much. But if we zoom in a bit, so this is a 500% crop into somewhere near the middle of the photo here. And you can tell that the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 9 look practically identical. The iPhone looks pretty similar to me as well. Like the shadows are a bit darker on the iPhone, whereas the pixels are a bit lighter. The 9 and the 8 are practically identical. And also, these are 12 megapixel photos. So the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 9, that's just the default setting on the camera. I just opened it, snapped a photo. Considering that the Pixel 9 and the Pixel 8 Pro are at 12 megapixels, if I didn't tell you that, you would think that they're practically identical. So having that 24 megapixel, the extra resolution, doesn't seem to have helped the iPhone too much. Maybe it's a bit more detailed, but yeah, again, they look practically identical to me. Moving on to the next photo here. So again, this is also the main cameras here. So the main one for the Pixel 9 Pro, the main sensor for the 8, and also the main for the iPhone 15. And again, they look practically identical. The 8 and the 9, basically identical. The iPhone is slightly warmer again. The building, as you can see there, is a bit warmer on the iPhone, whereas the other two look more neutral, cooler looking photos. Again, if we crop in 500% onto the Westfield Tower or the Center Point Tower here, the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 9 look basically the same. The iPhone looks very similar as well. Again, that color is a bit different, but color, you can tweak that if you want. If you're seeing a trend here, the photo quality of all three cameras are pretty good. So, you're not going to go wrong really picking between these smartphones here. The photo quality has gone that good. So again, moving on here. So this photo is a bit different. So this is still the main shooter. So the color looks quite a bit different between these photos this time. So can you tell which camera shot which photo? So we're kind of seeing a trend here that the iPhone tends to be warmer, and the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 9 tend to look exactly the same. So here's the cameras. So here we are. Here's the phones that shot which photo here. The iPhone is on the left this time. I shuffled it up a little bit, and then the Pixel 8 is in the middle, and the Pixel 9 is on the right. The Pixel 9 is very, very dark in this particular photo, but that's because this is a RAW photo. So this is the 50 megapixel RAW in the Pro mode of the cameras, and you can tell, well, if we crop in 500%, you can tell that the Pixel 9 looks really soft. Like that image looks really soft. It's almost like it's out of focus. The Pixel 8 is crystal sharp. The Pixel 8 is very sharp. And the iPhone has a bit more color. So that pixel camera pipeline is, I would say, basically completely turned off when you use RAW. The photo actually looks worse, straight from RAW. So you have to be prepared to do a lot of processing if you decide to shoot RAW. Between the 8 and the 9, the 8 actually looks a bit better if we're talking about the RAW photo. So because these RAW photos need quite a bit of processing, and when you buy a Pixel, you are kind of buying the camera magic and their processing pipeline, I don't think it makes sense to compare the RAWs directly like this. As a photographer, you would get the RAW and you would process it yourself. Compare the RAWs directly like this may not be the best comparison. So if we move on to our next photo here, this is the 50 megapixel JPEG that the Pixel 9 produces while it's taking the 50 megapixel RAW. So as you can tell straight away, the processed image going through that magical Pixel camera pipeline looks a million times better than the RAW photo that it just produces. So if we zoom in again, you can see that it has sharpened up that photo a lot. It's tweaked the colors. It's no longer blurry. It's no longer looking out of focus. And that 50 megapixel JPEG looks a lot better than that 50 megapixel RAW. So again, that just reinforces the fact that if you take a RAW photo, be prepared to do a lot of processing, and it's particularly true for the Pixels. The iPhone seems to have a slightly better looking RAW photo, so whatever pixel magic they're doing a lot of processing in the background. All right, so moving on to a kind of indoor shot here. Again, this is taken on the main cameras, and this time I'm just showing you the 50 megapixel JPEGs that are coming out of the phone. So we're letting the phones do the processing here. We're not going to look at the RAWs. And as you can see, the iPhone is the warmer picture, and then the Pixels are the cooler picture. So the 8 and the 9 look practically identical here. If we zoom in a bit, the 9 seems to have a bit more detail. But it's like the tiniest bit of difference between the 8 and the 9. The 15 Pro is obviously a bit mushy because it is at 48 megapixels, whereas the two Pixels are shooting at 15 megapixels. So you see it's losing a bit of detail in the laces, in the knitting of the shoe there, whereas the 9 and the 8 Pro has the highest level of detail. All right, moving on to this shot. So the purpose of this shot, food photos, people take that all the time. You might think that this was a portrait shot, but actually no, this is just the regular main sensor shooting, close to the subject. And the purpose of showing this shot is that the Pixel 9 actually has a shallower depth of field. So if you look at the shirt of the person in the background, the photo by the Pixel 9, the shirt is more blurry. So I think that's down to the fact that the Pixel 9 has a larger sensor. So you're able to get that shallower depth of field, so you get more bokeh from the fact that the sensor is just bigger. So if you have some good background separation between your subject and the background, then you'll see more blurriness in the background with the Pixel 9 compared to the iPhone 15. So moving on, so this is a shot done by the telephoto camera in all three phones. So again, can you tell which phone shot what? They look practically identical to me. Again, the iPhone is on the right and it does produce that warmer color. So that just seems to be what the iPhone likes to produce, warmer tones. But again, color, you can tweak that in post, no problem there. The Pixel 8 and the Pixel 9 look practically identical. They are the 50 megapixel JPEGs. So if we crop in, we see that the Pixel 8 actually has the sharpest image. So that Wonk logo there on that hotel, you see that the edges on that W is very, very sharp, whereas the Pixel 9 is a bit softer. The iPhone is, I would say, it's on par to the Pixel 9. So very surprising that the Pixel 8 is actually the sharpest photo here. Actually, this is very interesting because we do the same thing here with this cathedral shot. And again, the Pixel 9 on the left, Pixel 8 in the middle, and the iPhone on the right. iPhone looks a bit washed out, but that's okay. You can tweak that in post. But if we zoom in again, we see the same thing. The Pixel 8 has the sharpest image, whereas the Pixel 9 and the iPhone are, roughly similar, which is very strange, right? You would think that the newer phone has the better cameras. And just to double check this, I shot a wide shot here. So this is again shot with the wide 0.5 camera on each phone. And this time the iPhone is on the right and it produces the cooler image. So it's not always true that the iPhone produces the warmer colors. So it really depends on the situation. So we have the Pixel 9 on the left, the Pixel 8 in the middle, they look practically identical at this zoom level. But if we zoom in, we crop in a bit, 500%, again, we see the Pixel 8 is producing the sharpest image. So the Pixel 9 here is slightly blurry. I don't know why. Obviously, the iPhone has the lowest resolution here, because the ultra wide on the iPhone only produces 12 megapixel shots because the sensor is just a lower resolution sensor. But it's really strange that the Pixel 8 is producing the sharpest shots. So I thought I was doing something wrong, but I hopped into Lightroom with another photo here. So this is a telephoto shot with the Pixel 9 on the left and the Pixel 8 on the right. And as you can see, the Pixel 9 is softer, whereas the Pixel 8 is producing those really sharp images. So as you can see, the edges of that building there, the Pixel 8 just looks way better than the Pixel 9. But of course, if you zoom right out, they look practically identical. So I don't know what they have done with the Pixel 9. It seems to be slightly worse or softer. It's producing softer images compared to the Pixel 8. I also compared a main shot here. So I also compared the main camera here. So again, zooming in, the left is the Pixel 9, the right is the Pixel 8. And again, if you look at these leaves, the Pixel 9 is softer. If we zoom into this light post here, you'll see that the edges on the Pixel 8 is sharper than that on the Pixel 9. So it's not just the telephoto, it's also the main sensor here and also the ultra wide as well. So what have they done with the Pixel camera pipeline? It seems to have made the images softer on the Pixel 9. So that's my photo comparison between the Pixel 9 Pro XL, the Pixel 8 Pro, and also the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Strangely enough, the Pixel 8 Pro takes the best photos. The Pixel 9 Pro XL comes in second, very close second, and then the iPhone 15 Pro Max comes in third, in my opinion. So this is just for photos, purely photos. We'll have a second video coming up for video, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, hope this is useful, and thanks for watching.